Big news coming in out of the White House saying that India temporarily faces 10% tariffs. India's tariffs have been cut from 18% to 10%. Temporary tariffs on countries such as India, the United Kingdom and the European Union nations is what is being said by the White House. And this comes on the heels of 10% additional reciprocal tariffs that have been announced by Donald Trump. This comes about after the Supreme Court in fact deemed it illegal as far as reciprocal tariffs that have been initiated by Donald Trump. And there has been a lot of talks doing the rounds as far as refunds are concerned, are demanding refunds by the President of the United States, saying refund checks to Americans who have been paying for importing goods into the United States. We have my colleague Gauri Dwivedi joining us in order to get us the very latest, and this is in regard to what's really happening. Gauri, from 10% additional tariffs, we are talking about the court ruled that Trump exceeded his authority when he imposed tariffs via that law that reserved only for national emergencies. They say he needs congressional approval to impose taxes on imports. On those grounds, invalidating his measures. The big question being what happens next. From what we're hearing, as far as the White House is concerned, this is really signaling probably a long-term relief, if not so an instant one. But for India, we're seeing not just that the deal remains unchanged, but it's getting even better. It's getting sweeter to 10%.
Good morning to you, Divya, and to all our viewers. What a night it has been of massive developments that have come in from the Trump administration, actually from the Supreme Court first, and then a slew of measures that have been announced, and also the intent that came in from President Trump. Now, Divya, just to put some things into perspective and context, after the Supreme Court struck down Donald Trump's tariffs, called them that they can't stand the test of law, so to say, Donald Trump did announce that he can take some emergency measures, invoking several other provisions in the law. However, all of them are temporary in nature, allowing those provisions to only exist for 150 days till they go back to the Congress for more approvals. In the backdrop of that, fresh updates that have come in indicate that for that for India, EU and several other markets, the tariffs now stand right now at 10%. It is temporary in nature, but 10% is what the tariff right now stays till the time there is more clarity. I'm going to rope in both Lalit Jha, who's a senior seasoned reporter, in fact, in Washington, D.C., who's been covering the power corridors for over decades now. Priyanka, they also joins me on the broadcast for more on this. Lalit, to you first. This 10% announcement that has come in, it's a reprieve. Of course, it's a temporary window, but nevertheless, a huge reprieve coming in for Indian exporters in terms of bringing the tariffs down to 10%.
Yeah, indeed. Yes, it is. As the White House has said, it has come down from 18% to 10%, but it's also clarified that it's a temporary thing. They are looking into other provisions through which they can keep on increasing the tariff on other countries, trading partners, including India, EU, UK and Japan.
Indeed. Priyanka, you've got your ear to the ground, so to say, in US. A lot has happened through the night there, and it was a long day in America. Very sharp words coming in from the Supreme Court. But the intent that's coming from the Trump administration is very clear, that they are going to identify their roadmap. Their economic agenda remains the same. It is driven by tariffs. Even though in the interim, we will see these huge reprieves coming in for countries like India, where you have the tariff being slashed down from 18% to 10%.
Yeah, I mean, the recent Supreme Court ruling addressed what we have to remember is the scope and executive authority under the IEEPA tariffs in relation to tariff policy, right? So the court determined that emergency powers granted under the IEEPA do not automatically extend to broad tariff actions without clear congressional authorization. So in doing so, the court reinforced the constitutional allocation of tariff powers to Congress. Earlier today, I believe it was at about 12:45 p.m. Chicago time. Lalit, I know you're in DC, so you're a little ahead of me. But in his press conference, Trump emphasized that his administration they still view the tariffs as necessary tools to respond to foreign economic pressures. He also stated that limiting emergency-based tariff authority could affect executive responsiveness in trade matters. At the same time, he also acknowledged that other trade statutes do remain available to him. Section 301 allows action following investigation into unfair trade practices. Section 232 is also there, which permits measures tied to national security findings. Those mechanisms required structured review as well as administrative procedures. So this moment really illustrates an ongoing tension within governance, speed versus structure here. Emergency authority allows rapid response, which we have seen Trump do, but legislative authorization provides procedural clarity as well as accountability, which we have seen from the Supreme Court. So the ruling does not eliminate all tariff tools. It clarifies the pathway, specifically the statutory pathway through which they must operate. So the trade debates will continue, but now within legal channels, defined legal channels, I would say.